The word Satan has two plausible definitions. The first would be an all-negative spiritual force working through the hearts and minds of men. The second definition would be that Satan is simply a symbolic word for evil. Whichever of these definitions you hold to be true, it matters not for the sake of this video. Personally, I have the former understanding of the word. Satan has a massive amount of control over this world. The evidence for this statement is abundant. We need only take a look around and survey the world. If Satan was in control, we would expect to see everything inverted, because Satan flips things upside down, turning what should be positive into negative. Satan is known as the father of lies and the master of deception. Much good turned to bad. The quote by Michael Elner certainly rings true here. Look at us. Everything is backwards. Everything is upside down. Doctors destroy health. Lawyers destroy justice. Universities destroy knowledge. Governments destroy freedom. The major media destroys information. And religion destroys spirituality. How accurate. Doctors destroy health. This is obvious when one does research into vaccinations. All socialist healthcare systems are legal drug-pushing agencies which ignore all natural cures for terminal illnesses, and seem to give limited attention to the importance of vitamins and minerals in the role of health. Lawyers destroy justice. There are many instances of corruption in the courts which leads to injustice and unfair punishment. Also note, while the possession of some drugs can lead up to 7 years in prison, sexual abuse has a prison term not exceeding 6 months. Universities destroy knowledge. I would extend this to say that the whole education system destroys knowledge. I see school as a deceitful indoctrination system which brainwashes children to accept authority and to not question anything. Being only 20 years old, I was made aware of some of these lies whilst still in school. Governments destroy freedom. This is blatantly obvious. We live in a society with imperfect humans governing other imperfect humans, with our many thousands of different acts and statutes. Religion destroys spirituality. I would modify this to say that the church destroys spirituality. Religion is just the belief in a supernatural controlling power, or God. It's difficult to be spiritual and an atheist. The Catholic Church, however, obviously doesn't practice the religion which it professes to be part of. A brief look into the history of the Inquisitions or the witch trials will demonstrate the pure evil of the Church. I personally take great issue with people who criticize Christianity based on the actions of the Church. To be Christian, one has to follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. The Church obviously doesn't follow this rule. Ergo, it is not a Christian organization. To say that someone is a Christian who is engaged in the act of torturing or killing another is of the same level of hypocrisy as me saying that I am a vegetarian whilst eating a steak. But there are more examples of Satan's dabbling in the so-called Christian Church. The majority of Christians around the world meet on a Sunday, the day of the sun. Bill Cooper said, "Sunday, this is the first day of the week, called by many the Lord's Day or the Sabbath. It was dedicated by pagans, and that's where it gets its name, as the day of the sun. If you consider Sunday to be the Sabbath, you are subscribing to the Babylonian religion." End quote. And the Babylonian religion is the religion of Luciferianism, because Lucifer represents the sun. Traditionally, Saturday was the Sabbath. But again, this is demonstrated at Christmas, which is the pagan festival of the rebirth of the sun. December 25th has nothing to do with the birthday of Jesus Christ, but many Christians around the world are deceived into believing this, therefore they are following pagan festivals. We live in a world now where open Satanism is forced on us through music, pop culture, films and TV. There must be some sort of agenda behind this. But going back to Satan's inverted world and his persistent law of reversal, Aleister Crowley was arguably the most notorious Satanist and black magician to have ever lived. To paraphrase some of his work, he wrote, "Let the exempt adept first train himself to think backwards by external means. Let him learn to write backwards, let him learn to walk backwards, let him watch films and listen to records reversed, let him practice speaking backwards, let him learn to read backwards. It should also be noted that a symbol of Satanism is the upside-down cross, and that the satanic black mass is the inversion of the traditional Christian mass. The satanic law of reversal also ties into the argument between the heliocentric globe Earth model and the geocentric flat Earth model. The globe Earth heliocentric model, which is what we are taught to be true by mainstream science, is a complete inversion of our perceptions. For example, it is obvious that the sun and moon are the same size, yet we are taught that the sun is 400 times larger than the moon. It is obvious that we are still and motionless right now, yet we are taught that we are spinning at 1038 miles per hour, whilst orbiting the sun at 67,000 miles per hour, which is travelling at 500,000 miles per hour in a galaxy which is moving at 1.3 million miles per hour. It is obvious that the stars are stars, yet we are taught that the stars are suns. It is obvious that the sun is bigger than the stars, yet they say that the stars are bigger than the sun. It is obvious that the heavens revolve around us, yet they say it is us that revolves. It is obvious that up is up and down is down, but they say that this is not the case. It is obvious that the earth is flat, yet they say it is a spinning ball. Ironically, the whole concept of heliocentrism comes from a sun-worshipping religious cult. To begin with, heliocentrism was never meant to be taken as reality. It was a means of exoterically representing the esoteric religion of sun worship and the Greek god Helios. Helios is the same as Horus, which is the same as Lucifer. Heliocentric means to have the sun at the centre. Since Lucifer is represented by the sun, and we know that the world is being controlled by Luciferian secret societies, we should conclude, or at least consider, that the heliocentric globe model is a satanic lie and just another example of Satan's inversion of reality. Not to mention the abundance of evidence which suggests that the Earth is really flat. For example, a consistently flat horizon regardless of altitude, which rises to the eye level as altitude is gained, a lack of demonstrable curvature over large bodies of water, the ability to see structures over large distances which, according to spherical trigonometry, should be impossible, and an abundance of lies, scams, scandals, and false imagery from government-controlled space agencies. When one studies the doctrine of the controlling secret societies, it becomes clear what they believe Satan and Lucifer means. Lucifer means the sun or the light or the intellect, Lucifer being the higher intellect, represented by the eagle, and Satan being the lower intellect, represented by the serpent. This brings me to the final inversion of Satan. Lucifer, representing the light and the intellect, is the complete opposite of reality. The truth is that Lucifer is the master of deception and lies. He is synonymous with darkness. The whole point of this video is to hopefully make you aware of the complete inverted and upside-down nature of our reality. That is a fact. It is my opinion that there is a negative spiritual force at work. I am not asking you to believe this, I just want to make you think. For those of you who are aware, or do believe that there is a negative spiritual force at work in this world, then the only solution or antidote to such a thing is God, or the positive spiritual force. Remember, listen to everyone, read everything, believe nothing until you can prove it in your own research. Do not place your trust in anyone online or anyone who speaks to large audiences. Trust only those who you know personally, but you must double check all information, no matter who said it.